our YouTube. We're here with the absolutely horrifying mythical creatures you have never heard of.
Horrifying mythical creatures that you've never heard of.
Cool. Pontahank? Pontahank. No. Wait, no. Pontan. Nah. What?
Seldom would you
Pontiac?
find tales of critters and creatures more terrifying than those from Southeast Asia, places like the diesel of nightmare fuel. First up is the Pontianak, a malevolent spirit with a bone to pick. Specifically
Oh, she picks my bone.
yours, all 206 of them. Originating
mind.
from the likes of Malaysian and Indonesian folklore, the
That was the one.
Pontianak is said to be the vengeful spirit of a pregnant woman who either died in childbirth or at the hands of her partner. So imagine that you're taking
Wait, what?
the hands of her partner.
What that say? Well, I started laughing, so it doesn't matter.
So imagine that you're
That's what
taking
I
a
think.
midnight Malaysian stroll, slurping down a Malaysian meal of Malaysian soup. Through the aroma of
Malaysian.
boiling broth and steamy veggies, your nose catches the subtle scent of flowers. Your ears, the delicate
Flowers. I
cry
like
of
flowers.
an infant.
I don't like flowers.
It's just then
I
that you
don't
spot
like
a
flowers.
figure in the dark, standing beneath a big, beautiful, bountiful banana tree. Gracefully creeping into the
Okay.
moonlight is a young woman, clad in a flowing white dress with silky, long, raven black hair and friggin' sweet honkers. But that's how they get you.
Wait, what?
Seduction is the Pontianac's weapon of choice, at least for the
Hear me out now.
initial bait.
My bad.
But as long as you're a nice guy, you should have nothing to fear. And not the Reddit definition of a nice guy. Cheaters, beaters, and legend leaguers all face a terrible fate should they cross the
Oh.
path of a Pontianak.
Well, I'm not a cheater. I don't beat people. I'm perfect. I'm fine.
So approach at your own risk. If you do find yourself overcome with the manly urge to try to pick up a ghostly gal in the middle of the night, you'll notice a few
Real?
things as you make your move. For one, that delightful floral scent quickly turns to pure putrescence. Her soft pale hands now don razor sharp nails, and her delicate face now bears bloodthirsty fangs. You're in for a rough encounter.
Still hear me out. Hear me out.
The Pontianak has a purely physical attack style, so keeping your distance would have been wise. If you survive the shock of her terrifying appearance, you're gonna wish that you hadn't, as all of your pain receptors will now be the ones screaming. Speaking of which, a Pontianak may choose to let out a deafening wail, capable of rupturing your eardrums. But bleeding ears are the least of your worries, cause soon you'll have a
Huh?
bleeding belly. As a symbolic
What?
gesture for the child that she was never able to bear, a Pontianak will take her terrifying talons and tear through your trembling tummy.
So, about that, hear me out earlier. Don't hear me out. Do not hear me out.
Stealing your stomach, looting your liver, and kidnapping your kidneys. Why? Because they taste good? But if you don't feel like having
No. Hold up. How you know they taste good? I'm on to you. You weird fuck.
your insides being converted to outsides, here's what you can do. First and most obvious, don't approach crying women in the middle of the night. It's a huge red flag. Walk
shit.
on. That's someone else's problem. Second,
Beautiful.
take a glance down at her piggies. Legends state that Pontianaks have gross feet, so this may be a warning sign to hightail it
Good thing I'm not in the feet.
out of there. Or she might just have gross feet. As a third option, albeit a bit expensive, is that Pontianaks apparently hate the sound of cannon blasts, so if you're facing peril, have her stare down a barrel. Fourth, final, and
Damn.
most effective.
What the
if you-
fuck?
So if
That
you're
was
facing
random.
peril, have her stare down a barrel. Fourth, final, and most effective if you
I
find
like this
yourself
dude.
about to
I
be
like
shredded
this
to
dude.
bits.
Chat history. I like this dude.
Is managing to get behind the spooky spirit and jamming an iron nail into the nape of her neck. This
That's
is the
not happening.
Pontianak's factory reset spot, rendering her
Oh.
docile, subdued, and apparently, according to some strange versions of the legend, she will become, quote unquote, the perfect wife, at least until the nail is removed. Then she just gets back to her murderous ways.
Picked a great meme, but you're
Hear me out. That mouth, though. Hear me out. That mouth. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Dude, you gotta run. That Pontianak is after everybody. But I'm jamming. Well, that demon over there is about to jam her fingers into your belly, so you better... What are those? My Raycons. This video.
Yeah, I'm way too. Ain't no free promotion out of my ass. Sasabanza. Like what?
Now we jump ship from Southeast Asia to the forests of West Africa with the Sosabansam. The OG jump scarer, this slippery little devil, hides in the canopies of the
What in the chupacabra is that, bro?
forest of Ghana, waiting for its next victim to wander through the woods. The beings are said to be huge, much larger than an average human, with jaws capable of swallowing a head whole in one gulp. Although oddly proportioned,
okay, the odds against this one. I feel like I could survive. Just walk away. This picture says otherwise.
Sosabansam is ape-like in appearance with gangly, dangly arms and legs and a slender torso, often depicted with dark or red-colored fur. Using its iron hook feet to grip a grasp on Ghanaian growth, the Sosabansam lurks in the trees awaiting its prey. Once spotted, the monster will wiggle its fingies in delight with a don't mind if I do attitude like it's about to grab the last hot dog out of the warm Wawa hot dog cabinet. Going in for the kill, the Sosabansam swings from the tree limbs to snatch and grab any would-be traveler, should they be caught unawares alone in the dead of night. The monster's monstrous arms envelop you in a deadly death hug.
Me personally, this wouldn't happen to me because I'm always on the lookout, bro. I always look around. So me personally, this would not happen to me. I don't know about y'all. Yeah, y'all are just some stupid folks.
Crushing your bones and internals. Luckily, this will most likely send you to the Shadow Realm before it ever gets a chance.
I'm like Wolverine. I got iron bones, bro. I got iron bones.
Feed on your remains. If you're more of a cautious individual, the Sosabansam may attempt to disarm or disorient you with its ability to mimic familiar sounds.
You didn't tell me that now. You
Oh, what was that? Once you've been thrown off course, your life expectancy quickly drops to mere seconds as a swinging vampire monkey man makes its move.
He pulling shit out of his ass, bro. I swear.
Don't want to end up a monkey man's meal? There are precautions that you can take. For one, never travel alone in the forest at night.
No
shit. Kind of the takeaway lesson for this legend. Travel with a companion to avoid an untimely demise and to spark good conversation. And I told the guy, no tomato on the sandwich. And what does he do? He puts extra tomatoes on it. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Fuck up. You know, it wasn't even. Additionally, protective charms blessed by your local village priest are said to ward off the creatures as they hate the taste of religion. But if these simple solutions just don't seem possible, don't worry. For another solution is already in the making, and you can thank chocolate. Now, before you embarrassingly offer a bar to the beast, let me explain. You see, Sosabansams thrive in the trees, so offer a bar to the beast. Let me explain. You see, Sosabansams thrive in the trees, so let's just get rid of the trees. Thanks to excessive cocoa farming, Ghana has lost a majority of its primary forest since the 1950s. Sure, the trees are gone, but so is this fictitious freak. Strap on some earmuffs, because this next creature's a real screecher. Slopped out of southern Slavic folklore is the Drekavac, which translates to the Screamer. This myth takes on many forms across several different variations of its story, but for this video, we will go with its infant form. The Drekavac is said to be the restless spirit of an unbaptized child, desperate for salvation. According to legend, the Drekavac takes the form of a gray, emaciated young child. Little limber limbs accompany its
fucking smacks down. I fucking love this dude. Yeah, this dude has the best, like, this shit, one of the best fucking history things I've ever seen.
Emaciated young child. Little limber limbs accompany its frail stature, offset only by its monstrously large dome, which definitely devastated a birth canal upon entry into this world. They are most prevalent around Christmas time, sure to put a damper on anyone's festivities, but they certainly will not go unnoticed. Problem is, one glance at this little fellow will make you go, ugh. Not a thought exists behind its bulging, glassy black eyes. No thought, but death. If it wasn't obvious by its name, the Drekavac is capable of emitting ear.
The fuck is this drawing? This looks like an elf mixed with a goblin mixed with a
rupturing shrieks, able to bring you to your knees in a single squeal. Yeah, like that.
Excuse me.
Now, the Drekavek
Oh,
itself
wow.
is not an immediate threat in terms of it wanting to convert you into a fresh marinara. Instead, it serves as a looming omen. It is said that those who find themselves in its shadow are doomed to die a terrible death in the coming days. Whole villages may suffer cruel fates should they spot one nearby. The legend itself is often used as a deterrent for young children, teaching them to not wander too far from home lest they cross paths with the diminutive demon. Strange howls or yells in the night from local wildlife are often attributed to the Drekavak as a way to prove their existence to traumatized children. I mean, some of us were told that a giant anthropomorphic rabbit breaks into our houses once a year to leave us candy offerings in exchange for good behavior. So, is it really that far-fetched? Parents do a lot to make sure that their kids behave, don't they? Honestly, I can't wait to tell Little Chat one day about how a small fairy will break in through his window to steal his dead teeth in exchange for a few bucks. Well, like most critters, the Drekavak can be defeated. The most obvious method is having the child properly baptized, finally putting its soul to rest. So, just have your friendly neighborhood priest join the party and cast holy on its
Friendly
unholy
neighborhood
ass.
priest. Like,
Or,
I know a priest.
splash a cup of holy water in its face. Rest in peace.
I'm sure that's gonna work.
Japanese folklore. Definitely a very creative culture for instilling fear into kids and adults alike.
Yeah.
After all, we need to balance the
100%.
uwu anime girls with something a bit more fearsome. The Teki Teki does just that. Born from tragedy, this ghastly ghoul is the result of a young woman or schoolgirl who had fallen or was pushed onto train tracks and failed to get out of the way in time, causing her to become 50% lighter, but 100% angrier. I prefer the story of it being a malicious push, as simply just falling onto the train tracks is your own fault. Stay behind the yellow line at all times, people. Being a vengeful spirit, or Andria, the Teki Teki is a violent little vixen, aiming to hunt down the living who wander around deserted locations or train tracks in the middle of the night. Her existence serves solely as a cautionary tale for kids, discouraging any late-night adventures to such places. It's interesting the tales that parents come up with to protect their children. So instead of it being
I didn't get told any of these. They just always said, don't go out at night. That's it.
like,
All right, Dad, I'm going to that old abandoned factory with some friends.
the hell you are, that place isn't safe. It's more like,
All right, Dad, I'm going to that old abandoned factory with some friends.
sure, no problem, just make sure you don't get murdered by...
The Factory Fingerer.
What?
That sounds something sexual.
Any encounter with a Teki Teki could be your last. While they
Hear me out.
are just a half-body apparition of a young girl, they're still a force to be reckoned with.
Young girl. Wait! I'm a minor too, it's fine.
You may first become aware of its arrival by the sound of its hands slapping on the cement, which is how it walks, and the origin of its onomatopoeic name. In some tellings of the story, she carries a small scythe as a weapon. Others, she bears razor-sharp nails. If approached, she may ask you a simple question.
Where are my legs?
In Japanese,
Bitch!
of course.
In Japanese?
This is a trick question.
Okay, yeah. I don't fucking know.
She ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Dan. Though, if you see a ghostly gal with her insides spilling out lumbering towards you on her hands, it should be common sense that you 180 the hell out of there. But
Exactly.
you'd be wrong. Although she is restricted to just arms for movement, she is noted to be incredibly fast, even able to catch up to cars if necessary.
Sounds like a. I can't unpause the video. bro.
Movement,
Holy
she is
fuck.
noted to be incredibly fast, even able to catch up to cars if necessary. Once she gets a hold of you, she will treat you to a similar fate as her own, using her scythe or nails to crack you open like a football Sunday beer can. Now, according to legend, and unfortunately for you, there's no clear way to defeat her, mainly just heeding the tale's warning to avoid deserted areas and train tracks. However, I'm sure a solid 45-yard field goal attempt could get the job done.
Yeah.
Check out how this app helped me buy whatever I want.
Unlimited
Money makes it so you can get what you want from the game.
What the fuck? Conotosnotonis?
What's scarier than a skeleton? A giant skull that flies. Originating from the folklore of the Iroquois or Haudenosaunee Native Americans surrounding the Great Sacandaga Lake in upstate New York, this sizable skull monster is the stuff of nightmares.
That's right next to me.
Dubbed the Ganastistonje, this disembodied, man-eating head's goal is to consume anything and everything. Men, women, children, entire villages, Prilosec, you name it. These
All right.
dirigible domes are said to be the cursed souls of ones who have engaged in cannibalism or other various horrific acts within their lifetime. Thus, they are doomed to roam the earth with the curse of insatiable hunger. These heads
Oh,
can
so
take the form
galactic.
of just mere skulls, but some versions of the tale depict them as full-fleshed faces with long flowing hair, either with feathered or bat-like wings. Their description reminds me a lot of those skulls from the Zelda franchise,
Yeah.
particularly that one giant fella in the bottom of the well in Ocarina of Time. But I digress. It is said that even speaking about them attracts them to an area, as they have been known to descend on entire villages who keep their legend alive. Once summoned, these monsters begin wreaking havoc, biting and tearing victims apart, or swallowing them in one gulp, only to have to bite them immediately after, since they have no stomach. Their
shit.
speed and sheer size makes escape
Ew,
nearly
what is that? That might be the most disgusting thing ever.
impossible. Even if you're hiding in a house like a little frightened mouse or scared as all hell while hidden in a well, they'll attack your shack for a crack at a tender little snack. In terms of defeating them,
Bars! Hold on! Bars! Wait, hold
nearly
on.
impossible.
Let's
Even
do
if
that
you're
again.
hiding in a house like a little frightened mouse or scared as all hell while hidden in a well, they'll
Dr.
attack your
Seuss
shack
up
for
in here! God
a
damn!
crack at a tender little snack. In terms of defeating them, you're kind of SOL, as legends state that the Ganasastunje is virtually immortal and thus cannot be destroyed, save for one primitive weapon.
Fire.
So, get out your lighter and your pocket can of body spray and get to it.
That, I just have that on me at all times.
Neat. Well, that's all for this list.
All
These
right.
monsters would be
Hope y'all enjoyed this reaction. I'm trying to switch it up because I love anime and all, but like, damn, I've been making way